Okay, magandang hapon sa lahat, especially sa ating mga soon-to-be and aspiring criminologists. So this lecture is free and habang kayo ay nag-aantay, kayo ay atat na, yung iba natatae, yung iba naiihi, hindi na alam kung anong gagawin with regards to the result of the board exam. So habang kayo ay nag-aantay sa result ng board exam, so manood muna kayo. And especially to tell in advance with regards to this topic that which was lectured today by our guest lecturer. This topic is interesting. Why? So this topic is one of the subject in our new curriculums, especially sa ating mga bagong criminology. And this topic is more interesting, not only for the criminology student and criminology who took the board exam, but especially it includes to the men in uniform, especially to the law enforcement officer na nasa trabaho na ngayon. Why? This topic is all about human rights, basic principles of human rights. Kaya interesting na topic po ito. So habang kayo ay nanonood, so ang ating lecturer po is a guest lecturer from Cordillera Administrative Region. And this person is multi-awarded person in the field of law enforcement. So meron siyang mahaba at mataas na karanasan with regards to the law enforcement aspect, especially dealing with the dealing with the rights of a person. So this our guest is multi-awarded. He undergone series of schooling with regards to criminal investigation, and also in the academy, because our guest lecturer is also part of the many schools in the Cordillera Administrative Region in handling the criminology subject. So our guest lecturer is assigned in the Cordillera Administrative Region, especially in the training center, especially in the the Police Regional Training Center of the Cordillera. So assigned as a chief admin PCO. And our lecturer is also a member, also a graduate of criminology. So also a master's in having a master's of public administration and undergone different types of training, schooling sa nabanggit ko nga kanina. So hindi na natin pwedeng patagalin to at hindi na natin pwedeng habaan yung ating So ulitin ko, the subject is interesting. So let's welcome our guest lecturer, Police Captain BONI Melendez Mallare. So magandang hapon, sir. Magandang hapon.
Okay, sir. Once again, good afternoon to everyone.
Ayan, sir. Ulitin ko, salamat sa salamat sa pagtanggap sa aming invitation. So ulitin ko po, si Police Captain Mallare is also a lecturer of Bicard Balita Review Center. So sir, take the floor and magandang hapon. Salamat, sir. Magandang hapon sa lahat.
Okay, sir. Once again, good afternoon to everyone. Okay, this afternoon I would like to tackle about the lecture on human rights. Actually, this is very, very interesting just because especially those who are in the PNP service or what we call nandun sa servisyo. Okay, why human rights are very, very important to us, especially in the PNP service or what we call in the law enforcement agency. This is very, very important just because we must able to protect the right of the persons, especially when the person to be arrested. Okay, human rights are important because we need to protect and preserve every individual humanity to ensure that every individual can live a life of dignity and life that is worthy of a human being. Okay, that is very, very fun. So that is the fun why human rights is very, very important to us. Okay, as you can see right now, what do you mean by human rights all about? Okay, in your own words, how would you define human rights? As you can see, as shown on the screen, we have justice, prosperity, rule of law, dignity, hope, peace, freedom, and equality. As you can see right now, we have justice. Is the process or result of using law to fairly judge and punish crime and criminal. So have you been noticed sometimes when you are there in the court, as you can see, we have yung justice. We must able to know justice is very, very important to us. And then we have the prosperity. What do you mean by prosperity is all about? As you can see, this is one successful to the community or people within the society, or what we call, for short, in Tagalog, kasaganahan. Okay? Next, we have the rule of law. The rule of law, we must follow that what is created by the one. We must able to follow the rule, or what we call the policies and procedure that given to the one. As a police officer, we must only to implement what to be implemented. Like for example, we must able to implement these laws, especially when you are conducting bypass operations. So if this talking about the conducting of bypass operations, we have the Republic Act 6506, 6425 as amended by Republic Act 9165 and further amended by Republic Act 10640. So what is the difference between the three laws that I'm talking with you? As we go further, we will tackle on that matter. Okay? Next, we have hope. What do you mean by hope? Automatically hope, or what we call one, awa, or what we call. And then we have peace. Okay? Peace. We must have peace in our society, or what we call within the community. Just because that is very, very important. Just because why the police officer have here in the society, just because of the peace. And we have the freedom. So freedom. Okay, we have the freedom, and then we have the equality. Okay, as you can see right now, sirs and ma'am, we have the human. A person's living, breathing entities capable of feeling and showing emotions such as love, hate, compassion, and indifferences. That is one. Actually, we in the PNP service, we are human being, but at the same time, we are having individual differences. And we have also the right. What do you mean by right? This is a legal, social, or ethical principle of freedom or entitlement. Okay, that is right are the fundamental normative rules about what is allowed of people or owned to people according to some legal system, social conventions, or ethical theory. So, human rights refers to the concept of human being. So this is a human being as having universal natural rights. So automatically, even we are Filipino or even we are an American, automatically still we have right or individual rights as having universal natural rights or status, regardless of legal jurisdictions or other socializations such as ethnicity, nationality, and sex. So I told to you, automatically, even you are from other countries, still we have the right to live. We have the right to separate and so on and so forth. Or even, as you can see right now, we have the sex or nationality. So automatically, all individual person must able to have right. Okay, please allow me to read about this. No cost is more worthy than the cost of human rights. Human rights are more than legal concept. They are the essence of man, woman, and they are what makes man, woman, human. That is why they are called human rights. So automatically, we must able to have the human rights in every people around us. Deny them, and you deny man or woman humanity. This is the road of late Senator Jose M. Away Jokna. Okay, this is some of the special laws that related to the subject matter that we are pertaining to the human rights. As you can see right now, we have the Republic Act 8731, wherein this is the Indigenous People Right Act. Okay, we have also the Urban Development Housing Act and the Republic Act 7279. And we have also the Republic Act 7277, the Magna Carta for disabled persons. Automatically, these disabled persons have also the right. Okay. Next, we have also the Republic Act 9262, or what we call the anti-BOSI. Ayan, or anti-violence against women and children. And then, we have this Republic Act 9208, or anti-trafficking law of the Philippines as amended by Republic Act 10364. Okay, we have also the Republic Act 7610. This is the child abuse law. So for every child that we have, we must have the right. Automatically, they have their own rights. And then we have also the Republic Act 9344. This is the Juvenile Justice Welfare Act, or what we call ito, it could be the amendment of this Republic Act 1630. Okay, we have also the Republic Act 7438, the right of person arrested. Actually, it's very, very interesting when you arrest a subject person to be arrested, especially that is a warrantless arrest. Under rule, criminal procedure of 113, automatically that is an arrest. Arrest is take your person to custody to answer the commission of a crime. But then, you must able to inform the right of the person when you're effecting arrest. Just because if in case you don't inform the right of the person, automatically it might be you as the arresting officer or police officer might be filed a case against you because you are not enforcing the right of the person detained or under custodial investigations. Okay? But if you effect arrest, the subject person to be arrested, always see to it that you must able to observe yung Article 1 to 5 of the revised penal code, or what we call, you try to observe yung 121836 so that it will not be able, the person that you arrested, not file a case against us for arbitrary detentions. So since we are talking about arrest, okay, there are two kinds of arrest that we have. First, we have warrantless arrest, the same time with warrant of arrest. With warrant of arrest issued by the judge that is officer of the law to effect the arrest as stated in the warrant of arrest. But if you effect arrest, always see to it that you must able to observe, inform the persons. Like for example, okay, you must able to inform your authority as a police officer. At the same time, you must be able to inform the right of the persons, or what we call, you have the right to remain silent. Okay, may karapatan ka. Ako si Police Officer 1, BONI MALLARE. Hinuhuli kita sa salang pagnakaw ng halik and so on and so forth. May karapatan kang manahimik mulang sa kubo. Ano man ang sasabihin ay pwedeng laman sa iyo sa lahat ng korte at sa buong bansa. May karapatan kang kumuha ng sarili mong abogado at nais. Pag wala, kami ang magbibigay galing kay Public Attorney's Office. Naintindihan mo pa. So you must able to inform that right to the person to be arrested. That is very, very important. Okay? We have also the Republic Act 9745, the Anti-Torture Act. Okay? Be careful on this matter just because if you arrested the person at the same time, you must able to put immediately, di ba? What be the proper step to be undergone if you effect arrest? Okay, always see to it that you must able to brought immediately the arrested person to the police station, and at the same time you must able to put into water so that it might be you will not be gone, and at the same time you must able to brought this arrested person to nearest public hospital for medical, just because it might be this person telling that it might be you might be torture him. Okay, next, be specific provisions under revised penal code relative to the human rights. Okay, what be the principle, or what we call, what be the basic principle of the human rights that we have? As you can see right now, okay, the first, okay, during the time that you have given birth by your mother, automatically you have already the right to live. And regardless of whom our parents are and what they own. Okay, all of us have equal rights. So automatically we must have equal right to life and share the same inherent and human dignity. Those we have the right to life, to dignity, and develop our self. Okay, second, even if we not know our parents, we are never born without parents and never outside society, a society with his own particular culture, history, and resources. So the one I'm talking is you must have, if you are one, you have the right to know your parents originally. That is my point. Okay, next. The third one is a society reaches a certain degree of complicity, as almost all society have. Society can act only through government. Okay, but the government always act as an agent of the society, or what we call, even we in the PNP service, we are only an agent and authority. But actually, we have the person and authority, those who are in the authority, like for example, the barangay official of that barangay. Okay. Next, we have the principle and characteristic of the human rights. We have inherent, we have fundamental, inalienable, imprescriptible, indivisible, universal, and interdependent. As you can see right now, as shown on the screen, human rights are inherent because they are not granted by any persons or authority. Okay? They do not need any event for their existing. Some example of this rights are the right to life. So for every individual persons, automatically they have the right to life and they have the right to dignity as human being. I told to you a while ago, actually, both of us are human beings, but at the same time we have individual differences. So automatically, since this inherent, we must have the right to life and the right to dignity of human being. Okay, next, human rights are inalienable because they cannot be rightfully taken away from a free individual. An example is the freedom from torture. So the one I'm talking you a while ago, if in case you will be effecting arrest to the subject person, so the arrested, please do not make torture with that just because it might be you as the arresting officer might be file a case against you for violation of that torture that I'm talking with you. Okay? Next, human rights are universal to all human beings, irrespective of their origin. So, automatically, whether you are from other countries, either you are from black men, white men, and so on and so forth, automatically still we have rights or what we call the universal to all human beings, irrespective of their origin, status, or conditions or place where they live. Human rights are universal because said rights can be enforced without national border. So for short, automatically, I told to you, you must able to have respect the right of the persons, even that person is from other country. Okay, human rights are indivisible because they are not capable of being divided. Okay, they cannot be denied even when other rights have already even enjoyed. Like example of these are the freedom of expressions. Isn't it? You as a member of the community or people within the community or the society, you have the right to inform your expressions. Or it could be the belief or opinion. You must have to inform the opinion. Example, in certain organizations, you have the right to express your freedom or what we call the belief that you know, but at the same time, we must be able to follow the procedure. They include the right to freedom of religions and worship. You as individual person have the right to select or what we call find your religion or even example, even you are a Christian or even you are Ignatians and so on and so forth. Okay, we have also the human rights are interdependent. A, because the fulfillment exercise of one right cannot be attained without the realizations of the others. So we must able to respect the right of individual persons, necessarily include the realizations of man dignity. An example of this is the right to life and existing as a person. Okay, I told you even that person has no degree, has no education that he made, automatically still must be able to respect the right of the persons. Okay, we have also the human rights are imprescriptible because they cannot be lost even by a long passage of time. Man does not lose his right even if the fails to use or assert them. Some example of this is the freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Okay. By the way, if you have questions, clarifications, you may ask questions. Okay. Next, we have the classifications of the human rights. As shown on the screen, okay, according to the source, we have natural rights. Okay, what do you mean by natural rights? Are God-given rights acknowledged by everybody to be morally good. They are unwritten, but they prevail as norms of society. Example, these persons have the right to go to church. Yes, he has a church just because that is already a natural right. Okay. Next, we have the constitutional right. Are those rights which are conferred and protected by the constitutions and which cannot be modified or taken away by the law-making body. or the word constitutional, automatically it's already protected by the constitutions as stated in 1987 constitutions. Okay, we have also the statutory right. Are those rights which are provided by law? Okay. Promulgate by the law, making body and consequently may be abolished by the same body. Automatically, this statutory is already during the time that is a right or what we call right, but at the same time it could be abolished or what we call it by the same body. And then we have the constitutional right and statutory right are sometimes referred to a legal right. So legal, we must able to follow the legal rights of individual persons that we have in our society, within the community. Okay, we have also the civil rights. Are those rights which the law will enforce at the instance of private individual for the purpose of securing them to enjoyment of their means of happiness. Okay, we have the right to life. So automatically, as a member or a people in the community, I have the right to life. So automatically, dapat walang magbawal sa akin. Even my mother or the one who gave birth to me, he doesn't or she doesn't have the authority to pagbawal. So you have the right to life. And we have the right to liberty. And last but not least, we have the right to freedom from torture. You must have freedom from torture, especially so if you are taking arrest, please do not torture the person that you arrested. Okay? Civil right. Okay, right to freedom from discriminations. Okay, what do you mean by discriminations? Freedom from discriminations. Automatically, even you are from other country, at the same time you are black man or white man, automatically do not discriminate that persons within that society. Okay, next, we must have the right to be registered under the name. Automatically, we are happy or lucky just because we have name. Okay, under naka-registered within the PSA or the Philippine Statistics Office. Then, right to due process. Okay, we must have that one. Due process, we must able to follow the due process. When it comes out, crime was committed by a certain person, we must have to follow the due process. Okay, next, right to be informed of criminal charges. So, what are the charges that we have? We have a tough charges, especially it could be the violations of Article 248 of the revised penal code. And what is 248, by the way? That is murder. And how can we determine as a police officer or investigator of a crime scene? Automatically, you must able to take note. We must able to know what be the element of murder. For me, I'm talking about the PEP talk or what we call acronym. What do you mean by P? What do you mean by E? What do you mean by P? And what do you mean by T? And what do you mean by O? And last but not least, what do you mean by C? Automatically, the right to inform of criminal charges. So automatically, you must be able to inform the right of the person. If in case you arrested the person, you must inform what crime has committed. So the one I'm talking with you, you must be able to inform. Example, the violations of Article 248, that is murder. And at the same time, as investigator, you should be able to know what is murder is all about, or at the same time, what be the element. So it will be concluded as a murder. Okay? Next, political rights. Right to freedom of associations. Okay, for every individual have the right to make an associations or become a member of the associations. Next, right to vote and be voted upon. As of now, okay, we are now on the process of election period. Just because for every individual person that we have in the society or in the community have the right to vote. Kahit sino man ang gusto nila, he must be able to vote. Or what we call, this is the sub-phrase that I'm talking with you right now. Right to political partisans to campaign or participate in party politics. Okay? Even you are not educated, but at the same time, if you have the minimum qualification that you can apply or you are entitled to apply for the right to political participations, you have the right. Okay? The right to free and periodic elections. Okay? Every 3 years or every 5 years, we must be able to have the election period. Especially, we have the local elections, we have the national elections, and we have the SQ elections, and so on and so forth. Right to equal access to the public service. Okay, what do you mean by this? equal, parehas, pantay, access to the public service, example, transportations, example, public viewing. Automatically, you must have the right vehicle to have access to the public service. Okay, even riding in the jeepney, automatically we must have equal, including the right to be elected to the office. Okay, next, economic and social rights are those which the law confers upon the people to enable them to achieve social and economic development, thereby ensuring them their well-being, happiness, and financial security. For every individual, persons have the right to work. Okay, especially so if you are educated. At the same time, it depends upon the qualifications that you have, but at the same time, still you have the right to work in every institution, whether that's a public or that is a private institutions. Okay, next, we have the right to choose of employment. Actually, sometimes nowadays, still we have the right to choose just because it depends upon the situations wherein the qualification standard that you have. So you have the right, even you can apply for a government service, but if you are qualified, especially if you are a civil service eligibility, or if you have qualifications, or what we have the QS, to a certain vacant position in the government. Okay? We have also the economic and social rights. Right to own property. Actually, all individual persons have the right to own property. Especially so, if you have money, you can buy everything that you want to property. Right to adequate standard of living. And then right to access to education. This is very, very important to us. Okay? We have the right to access education, especially even you are there far away from the school. You must have the right to go to school, or even the people within the community, or I should say, the government must be able to brought an, uh, an education to the people within that community. We have the right to found a family. So, we have the right to found a family. So, may karapatan tayo na maghanap ng mahal natin sa buhay, or what we call itong family natin. And then we have the cultural rights, are those ensure that well-being of the individual and foster preservations, investment, and dynamic evaluations of national culture based on the principle of unity, diversity, in a climate of free artistic and intellectual expressions. So, the right to take part in cultural life. So, as you can see right now, for every province that we have in the Philippines, we have the cultural life. So, kanya-kanyang kultura. Even nga, when dealing with the one, and sa court natin, we have the tribunal court. Next, we have the right to enjoyment of scientific and advancement. As of now, as you can see right now, we are now computer world. Okay, what be the obligations, state obligations? Okay, duties individual of exercise right of responsibility. This pertains to the duty of individuals to act responsibly so as not to exceed the limit of the rights. So automatically still we have the limit of the rights of every individual persons. Okay, as you can see right now, it might be that police officer has no tolerance, or what we call maximum tolerance, just because automatically he is only a human being. At the same time, he must be able to implement what to be implemented. But we have a policy in the PNP that we must have yung maximum of tolerance. Okay? But never civilian brutality. Okay? We have the Universal Declarations of the Human Rights of 1948. Set out fundamental human rights to be universally protected. Okay. We have the Article 1 of the Universal Declarations of Human Rights. So, this Article 1, we have the right to equality. As you can see right now, we have disabled persons, we must have the right to equality. So, we have the right. So, ibig sabihin yan, even you are disabled, still we have the right to have what the normal person have. Okay? Next, we have Article 2, freedom from discriminations. So what do you mean by this? Okay, have you been observed sometimes kung minsan na-discriminate itong mga kwan, yung mga members or what we call the kwan, yung mga kwan natin, itas natin, just because they are black at the same time they are small, automatically, they must have the kwan, freedom from discriminations. No discriminations or no prejudice. Okay, Article 3, right to life, liberty, personal security. As you can see right now, automatically, everyone has the right to life. So, lahat ng tao, or even na yung mga po natin, yung mga humihinga, automatically, they have the right to life, liberty, personality, and security. And, yan, ang ibig sabihin, even nga yung mga dog, even yung mga kwan, still they have the right to life. Okay? We have the freedom. Yan, freedom from slavery, especially those who are from far from away, who are applying for domestic. It might be this one slavery. It might be papasok din yung Republic Act 1908 as amended by Republic Act 10364. Okay, we have also freedom from torture and degrading treatment. Okay, be always, as a police officer or member of the community, please do not just because it might be you can file a case against you, but actually free them from the torture. So, as individual person, dapat free, hindi dapat nasasaktan o binubugo or whatever, even he is have a case or file a case into the court. Next. Okay, right to recognition as a person before the law. Okay, what do you mean by this? All right to recognition as a person before the law. Automatically, as a person, you must be able to recognize, especially so if you are a lawyer and so on and so forth. Okay, right to equality before the law. We have the justice. Okay, equal. Even you are police officer or even you are rich, automatically, we must have equally right before the law. But actually, sometimes, please allow me to engage on this matter. But sometimes, if you have a lot of money, automatically, it could be nawawala yung right ng equality of the law. But actually, as stated sa Article 7, you must be able to follow on it. We have the right to remedy for competent tribunal. The one I'm talking with you a while ago, earlier, wherein, if in case, if there's a problem within the society, within the barangay, automatically, we must be able to have the remedy, or what we call this competent tribunal. Example, or the land dispute, it might be brought out to the barangay before or prior going up to the court. Okay, freedom from arbitrary arrest and exile. Okay, please allow me to engage on this matter. Ito, arrest, ba arbitrary? I told to you a while ago, arbitrary. That is under Article 25 of the Revised Penal Code. Or it could be, I should say, is if in case naglapse yung yung arrest, yung time regulations of that person that you arrested, it might be you as a police officer must be have to file a case for arbitrary. Okay? And yung how about yung exile na binabanggit natin? What do you mean by this exile? Okay? The situations of persons who is forced to leave his or her own country. He is living an exile. Okay? So I told to you, this is very, very important when you are effecting arrest. But I told you, what is a warrant of arrest? Warrant of arrest is issued by the judge, the office officer of the law, to effect the warrant of arrest. But actually, this warrant of arrest has no expiry. But as you can see, as stated in the warrant, there is 10 days. 10 days. What do you mean by that 10 days? Automatically, you must be able to return the warrant of arrest to the court concerned or to judge who issued the warrant of arrest. So, ang ibig ko sabihin yan, if you receive a warrant of arrest, you must be able to implement the warrant of arrest within a period of 10 days. Just because this warrant of arrest has no expiry. But at the same time, as stated, the warrant that are 10 days, may 10 araw na dapat i-implement yung warrant. But case-to-case basis, na-implement mo, but at the same time, you must able to return the warrant of arrest to the judge concerned. Just because the judge can issue an alias warrant of arrest. And then it could be bench warrant. By the way, what be the difference between the two? Yung alias warrant, bench warrant of arrest. Okay, please allow me to have an example of the alias warrant. I told to you, if you are the arresting officer of a certain station, automatically you proceeded to the house to the person that you may arrest, but at the same time he is not around, who cannot be located. Automatically, if you return that within a period of 10 days, automatically the judge can issue a alias warrant of arrest. How about bench warrant? You might encounter this during the board examinations. Actually, you might encounter this bench warrant or alias warrant. Bench warrants, I will give you an example of bench warrant. This bench warrant, okay, under Rule 114 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure, automatically the respondent or the suspect or the accused. Okay, by the way, if the person is still arresting the person, what do you call on that matter? That is respondent. But if in case the person was already arrested by the police, that we call that is already a suspect. And then when the person was already at the court, his trial, automatically that is already an accused. Okay? Next, going back sa lecture natin, based on the warrant that I'm talking with you. So, under Rule 114 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure, automatically, this person that you arrested has the right to post his bail just because his case is bailable. So, for how many times that this person's not attended to the court hearing, the judge can issue a bench warrant of arrest. Okay. How about if in case, if you are warrant of arrest and serve the warrant of arrest and then you already arrested the person, you must have to document. Example, you must have to brought immediately to the nearest hospital for medical call. You must have to mugshot. You must have to booking. At the same time, you must able to return the warrant to the judge concerned. But at the same time, excuse me. So, what do you mean by ODM? Issued by the judge. What do you mean by that? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng ODM or CM? Automatically, ito, yung ODM na sinasabi ko, this is order of detention most especially so if the person is convicted. How about yung CM? This is only a commitment order wherein the person is temporarily detained to the BGMP so that he must able to entertain his trial or his case. Okay? Next. Okay, we have the right to fair public hearing. Okay, anybody, persons have the right to go to court and have public hearing or what to be done or what we call he must able to hear a fair public hearing, I should say. And then we have Article 11, right to be considered innocent until proven guilty. Yes, that is very, very correct. That's because if you arrested the person, still he is not guilty or what we call we must able first to have trial so that it might be convicted. Okay, innocence until proven guilty, as you can see right now. Okay, we go to Article 12. Okay, freedom from interference with privacy, family, home, and correspondence. Okay, yung privacy natin, we have the right to yung privacy natin of the family and home and correspondence that I'm to say freedom from interference. Okay. Next, we have the right to free movement in out of the country. As individual persons, we have the right to go to abroad. We have the right to go to other country, just because we have the right, especially so if you have money at the same time, if you have passport and so on and so forth, or document that you are authorized to go to another country. But still, we have the right to go to another country, free movement in out of the country. Okay. Next, we have the right to asylum in other countries from prosecution. So, what do you mean by asylum? Okay? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin niya? Mga fans. What do you mean by that? Okay, the context of immigration is the protections offered by a country or state of refugee who has left their named country. So, ang ibig sabihin yan, okay, yung mga refugees. And then, we have Article 15, right to nationality and the freedom to change it. So, automatically, if you are working with America, it might be you have the right to change your nationality, even you are here in the Philippines, even you are Philippine, even you are American, you can change the nationality that you want to. Okay? Next, we have the right to marriage and family. So, as individual persons, we have the right to have our woman or what we call the marriage. May karapatan tayong makipagkasal sa isang gusto nating lady. Okay? Or have a family. Next, right to own property. Yes, that is an exactly correct. May karapatan ang individual persons to have a property, especially so if you have money to buy for it. Okay? Next, Article 18, freedom of belief and religion. So, this is very, very important. Tayong mga tao, or what we call, we have individual, we have belief in religion. So, automatically, we have the right to choose our religions. Whether you want to become a Christian or you want to become a iglesia and so on and so forth. So, we have the freedom to believe in religion. Okay, next, Article 19, freedom of opinion and information. So for every individual persons have the freedom of opinion. Example, if you are working with a certain organizations, you have the freedom, you have the right to inform what you want to in the office. But at the same time, and we have the information or what we call freedom of expressions. Okay, next. We have the Article 20, right to nationality and the freedom to change it. Okay, we already undergone. Okay, nationality and freedom to change it. Okay, next. We have the right to participate in government and free elections. Okay, nowadays, we are now on process for the elections. Okay, as individual persons have the right to vote that he want to vote for president, vice president, and so on and so forth. So, even you don't have any education, still you have the right to vote just because that is right under Article 21 of the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. Okay. We have also the right to social security. Okay, what do you mean by this? Okay, for every individual persons have the right to go to have the social security for their benefits. Okay? So, ang ibig ko sabihin yan, example, ito, yung plan natin, if you want to. Okay? Next, we have the Article 223, right to desirable work and to join trade union. Okay? If you are working in the organizations, even that is a public or private, but actually in the public, hindi natin magagawa yan just because we have the policies, procedure that we have. While in the private institutions, we must be able to have the right to desire work and to join trade union. Okay? We have also the right to rest and seizures. So, as individual persons, even are working, automatically we have the right to rest or what we call you must be able to go to beaches so that you have the rest. Or it could be leisure. Okay? Next, we go to Article 25. We have the right to adequate living standard. So as you can see right now, as you can see that we have the living standard. We must have to live, we must have to eat, and we have the living standard that we have. Okay. Next, we have the right to education. Okay. For every individual persons, we have the right to go to school for education just because this is very, very important to us as member of the community. Just because this education is one of the individual to make his life success. Okay. Next, we have the right to participate in cultural life on community. So we have a lot of cultural. Okay, we have in Ilocano or in Igorot, we have paktong and so on and so forth. Yan naman, we have dancing or what we call yung mga kwan natin, cultural life or what we call kultura na nakagisnan ng mga tao doon sa isang lugar. Okay, Article 28, right to social order, articulate this document. And then, we have Article 29, community duties essential to free and full development. Okay, duties essential to free and full development. What do you mean by this? Okay, community duties. Automatically, we have the right or we have the have duties essential to develop the community within society. And then, okay, this Article 29, okay, in the exercise of the right, this right and the freedoms, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by law, solely for the purpose of securing due recognitions and respect for the rights and freedom of others, and meeting the just requirements of morality. This is very, very important to us, yung morality or what we call discipline, public orders, and the general welfare in the democratic society. That's why sometimes I'm asking with my student, okay, who are in charge with the public safety? Automatically, all of us are member of the community, not only the police, but all member of the community, or even the judge, or even the member of the justice. Automatically, still we have this. Okay. Next, we have the internal, national, covenant, or economic, social, and cultural rights. Okay. Realizing that the individual having duties, other individuals, and to community to which he belongs, is under responsibility to strive or promotion and observance of the right recognized in the presence of covenant, or what we call covenant. What do you mean by covenant? Parang kasulatan and so on and so forth. Okay. We have the general duties of individual towards other and community. Under the Civil Code of the Philippines, as you can see, as shown on the screen, Article 19, every person must, in exercise of his right and performance of duties, act with justice, give everyone his due, and observe honesty and good faith. So, you must able to give what due to the person. Para kay one, para kay one. Para kay Pedro, para kay Pedro. Yun ang ibig sabihin yan. Or you should have observed honesty, just because that is very, very important. I told you, we must able to observe discipline. And we must have good faith. Okay? Next, Article 26. Every person shall be respect the dignity, personality, privacy, and peace of mind of his neighbor and other persons. So, what do you mean by this? I told to you, we must able to respect the right of the persons just because he has dignity and personality. Yun ang ibig sabihin. How can I respect you if you don't respect me? But the very important is we must able to respect the dignity of personality of persons. Okay? Continuations. Everyone has duties to community. Okay? None of the human rights in these declarations can be used justify violating another human rights. Okay, we go to Article 32. Any public officers or employee or any private individual who directly or indirectly obstruct, defeat, violate, or any manner impede or impair any of the following rights and liberty of another person shall be liable, the latter for damage. Actually, I told to you, you must able to respect the right of the person, especially when you are affecting arrest the subject person to arrest them. Just because that is very, very important, even especially so when it comes to custodial investigations, wherein you must able to implement the Republic Act 7438, wherein, please allow me to engage an example on that matter. Okay, can the police officer have the right to inform the person that he is the one who killed the person? No, not unless if there is a lawyer or a competent lawyer. But how about one. But how about if in case who anybody can inform the person that person he is the one who killed the person? Mostly it could be the media just because but at the same time because there is already a what is called probable cause or what you call the admissible in court, I should say. Okay, we have the Republic Act 9851. This is the Philippine Act on Crime Against International Human Law, genocide, and other crimes against humanity. Like example, okay, please allow me to engage on this matter. When you will be conducting operations pertaining to violations of Republic Act 6425, as amended by Republic Act 9165 and further amended by Republic Act 9165, 10640, we must able to obey or what we call we must able to respect the right of the persons, especially when it comes to bypass operations. We must have to follow the procedure when it comes to Section 21 of that Republic Act 9165 pertaining to inventory of an evidences. Okay, we have also this Republic Act 9745, an act finalizing torture and other cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment or punish and prescribing penalties therefore. Okay, I just only gauging the special laws so that it might be you might be encounter this during the board examinations. As the reviewees or reviewer, you must have the full knowledge about these special laws or what we call laws that we have just because we don't know it could be will brought out to the board examinations. Okay, we must able to value the dignity of every human persons and guarantee full respect for human rights. Okay, next, to ensure that no persons placed under investigations or held in custody. Yan, yung sinasabi ko, yung custodial investigations, wherein you must able to have the person that you may arrested for investigations. By the way, mere invitations of subject person that you arrested, that's already an arrest. Okay. Next, to ensure the secret detention place, solitary incomunicado, or other similar form of detentions. Well, by the way, in the PNP, we have called detention cell or temporary. So we must able first to put detention cell, the subject person to be arrested just because he must wait for the DM or what we call CM issued by the judge. By the way, a warrant of arrest is only judge can issue. Okay, si judge lang daw ang pwede mag-issue ng warrant of arrest. Okay, I would like to ask these questions. Actually, still we have sino pa ang pwedeng mag-issue ng warrant of arrest? Not only the judge. Okay? Especially those violations of Republic Act 2019 or what we call we have itong anti-corrupt practices. Okay? Or it could be they have the authority to issue a warrant of arrest is we have the Senate of the President or it could be the head of the Sandigan Bayan and so on and so forth. So, yun lang ang pwedeng mag-issue. Next. Okay, we have the PNPM is human rights obligations. As you can see right now, we must able to respect human rights. Totoo naman yan. We must able to respect the right of persons. Even that is a patrolman or even that is a civilian, always see to it that we must have to respect the right of the person. Okay, please allow me to engage. In the PNP, there are 3 personality working with the Philippine National Police. Please allow me on that matter. First, we have the NUP or what we call this is non-uniform personnel. Second, we have the PNCO, Police Non-Commissioned Officer. And we have PCO or what we call Police Commission Officer. During that time, automatically they called patrol PO1. But based on the law, we have the Republic Act 11200. It was already transferred to military rank. Okay? Next, to protect human rights means to implement laws that provide equal protection to all persons from human rights violations by state authorities or by actor. Okay. There are 10 basic international human rights standards for law enforcement. Please allow me engage. At the same time, what be the reason behind why this is very, very important to us as member of the Philippine National Police, this right of the persons? Just because this is very important to us, just because we must able to protect the right of the person. Have you been observed what be the task or what be the main task of the Philippine National Police? To serve and protect the people within the community. Okay? Just because the people within the community, they are the one who give our salary through their taxes. That's why we must able to protect them. And in the PNP, we are in the high supremacy. Okay? As you can see right now, standard 1, equal protections. Okay? Everyone is entitled to equal protections of the law without discriminations on any ground, and especially vigilant to protect potentially vulnerable groups such as children, the elderly, women, refugees, displaced persons, and member of the minority group. Okay, we must able to respect the right of the persons, especially itong children, or what we call, we have yung Republic Act 9344, itong CSL, or and then we have itong elderly, yung mga seniors natin. Even itong woman, itong Republic Act 7610, or it could be Republic Act 9262. Okay? Next. Standard 2, we must able to respectful treatment. Treat all citizens and victims of the crime with compassion. We must have compassion with them. Kumbaga, maliwalas, or what we call, and respect with utmost consideration for their need and for safety and privacy. Kasi ang nangyayari during that time, during talaga ang Philippine National Police is very, very, yung image na isa not hindi maganda because of the violations of the human rights that we have violating too. Okay, next we have use of force. Do not use force except when strictly necessary and to minimum extent required under the circumstances. Actually, itong use of force, now in the PLT, we are now implementing itong maximum of tolerance. So we must have the maximum of tolerance. Okay? Next. Use of force. Do not use force except when strictly necessary and the minimum extent required under circumstances. Okay, case-to-case basis. Kung kinakailangan talaga, automatically, you may excess force, but it could be, you must only paralyze the person. Okay? Standard 4, policing on non-violent assemblies, or what we call itong natin, yung CDM natin. Avoid using force when policing unlawful but non-violent assemblies. Okay? Kasi they have the right to go to have the assembly to the assembly area. When dispersing violent assemblies, use force only to minimum extent and necessary. So, case-to-case basis, talagang medyo, talaga, worst comes to worst, it might be you can use yung fire truck to by using water tank, yung water natin sa kanila. Okay, lethal force. Lethal force should not be used except when strictly unavoidable in order to protect your life or the life of others. Okay, we must be able to protect our lives and others. Next, arresting. Andito naman tayong arresting person on illegal grounds. Okay, I told you again, itong illegal ground. If in case, if there is no legal ground to arrest the person to be arrested, please do not arrest. But if there is a probable cause that you may effect the arrest, you may arrest the person. But still, you must be able to inform the right of the person that you may arrest. Yung Miranda warnings under Republic Act 7438. Only arrest persons if there are legal grounds. Okay, when the person to be arrested is actually committing a crime or what we call infraganti delito or prima facie evidence. Kung talagang yung tao ay gumagawa ng krimen sa akto or infraganti delito, so you may effect arrest and subject person to be arrested. And the arrest is carried out in accordance with the lawful arrest procedure. we must able to follow the procedure when it comes to arrest, or what be the method of arrest, I should say, and so on and so forth. Okay, next, detainee rights. Ensure all detainees immediately after their arrest have access to family and lawyer. They must have the right to inform to their family at the same time lawyer. Just because this is very, very important. Inform natin sa mga magulang or family or lawyer na that person was already arrested for violations of what? PD 705 or 704, or that is illegal fishing or illegal cutting of trees. And, or it could be violations of Presidential Decree number 866 as amended by Republic Act 9287 and further amended by Republic Act what? 10591. What is the reason behind bakit ko binabanggit yung mga yan? So that you must be able, enlightened, at the same time you must be able to have, I told you a while ago, you must have this laws. It might be, you might be encountered this during the board examinations. Next. Okay, we have the human treatment of detainees. All detainees must be treated humanly under any circumstance. Do not inflict, instigate, nor tolerate any act of torture or ill treatment, and refuse to obey any order to do so. So, wag natin bugbugin. So that, wag natin bugbugin yung arestado natin or yung detainee natin. And ito, yung torture natin or ill treatment and refuse to obey any order to do so. Okay? Refusal to obey unjust order. So, kung hindi talagang a right order, you must able to refuse on it. Do not carry out order or cover up extra legal killing or force disappearance and refuse to obey any order to do so. Okay, we go to standard 10, reporting violations. Report all violations of this standard to your senior officers. Actually, I'm basing with this just because you might encounter this. Okay, ang ginagawa ngayon ng kapulisan always stated if there is a crime was committed in that area of responsibility, automatically must able to report immediately through SMS or what we call through cell phone, and within 3 hours. After 24 hours, they must able to have with this spot report. And to the nearest prosecutor, do everything within your ability and authority to ensure steps are taken to instigate violations of this standard. Okay, that's all, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you learned something from me. Once again, thank you very much and have a nice day to all of you. That's all.